guys, Tubrix here with part 4 of my micro-scale Star Wars fleet series. And I guess fleet isn't exactly the accurate word anymore because that usually describes a collection of ships, and now we're starting to introduce ground-based vehicles. But what the heck, you guys know what I mean. I'm not going to change it. So, this is the Sandcrawler from Star Wars A New Hope. And I'm really excited to show this with you guys because it's the first model in the series that has a little bit of functionality to it, which is something that was kind of important to me to capture when doing this series where possible. So let's dive right in and take a look at some of the details. So on first blush, this is a pretty angular, boxy, simplistic looking craft. You know, it's got the big triangle at the front, and the rest is pretty much a square. But there actually is a fair bit of subtlety in the design of the original craft that I wanted to try to capture here as much as possible. For example, you know, there's this subtle angle of the way that these taper in towards the top. There's the way that everything comes to a point right here, and actually on the studio model there's a slight bit of an angle up in this direction, which I've just represented here just by not quite squeezing this plate down all the way, just to give the slightest little hint that this is bowing upwards. The little bit of functionality that I mentioned is just that the ramp here can open up. I think that's something that's important. You know, the Jawas need to be able to have their little sales pitch out in front and be able to show potential customers their wares. So that's something that I thought was a cool thing to be able to put into the model. I just have a black interior just to kind of sell that there's more depth back in there, because you know this is all fairly solidly constructed. I can actually pull off one of these side panels to show you guys. It's pretty simple, just a couple of the brick heads pieces, those super useful plates with, or bricks with the 4 studs on the side. And then on the bottom you can see that I've represented the kind of tank treads that this thing propels itself on, just very simply using a couple of brown headlight bricks with some black cheese slopes plugged into them, just to give the impression of those tank treads going through. And then this would be the little area where R2-D2 kind of gets sucked up into the ship, and there's actually a little kind of boarding ramp where the Jawas go up into the thing from here. And this hollow stud is supposed to represent, there's like a little doorway that I believe a crane can come out of and kind of load larger cargo into the thing. And in the movies, it does have a interesting kind of rusty brown look to it. So I wanted to have a couple of little spots where there's some orangish colors poking through, some slightly different. This is the medium nougat color, and then this is the dark orange underneath here. And I just wanted to have little spots where that would come through, but not go too crazy with it, because when you look at it overall, it is a fairly brown looking thing, and I didn't want to distract from that too much. And then the last couple little bits of flair on this are the cockpit, which I've just represented very simply using a trans-yellow 1x2 plate, and then these big floodlight assemblies at the bottom, which I've represented using a single round trans-yellow stud on either end right there. And that just helps to, when the boarding ramp is open, this just illuminates the area. If they're doing nighttime transactions, they can see who they're dealing with. So I thought that was important to represent on this model as well. Yeah, you know, it's a fairly simplistic thing, but definitely an iconic vehicle, and one that I felt needed to be in this series. If I am aiming to have the most comprehensive collection of Star Wars ships and vehicles, you know, this needs to be here. So yeah. Alright guys, so there is the Sandcrawler in comparison to all of the other ships I have so far. The fleet is definitely growing, and next video is going to have a few different ships kind of put all into one, because they're fairly small and it's not worth dedicating a video to each one. So that'll be kind of a episode 4 wrap-up video where we see basically all the remaining ships that I've represented from A New Hope all together. So yeah, that'll be exciting. If you guys like the video, please do support the channel by doing the old like and subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. And of course, if you didn't like it, as always, thumbs down and let me know what I could do better. Alright guys, I will see you on the next one. Hopefully that'll be coming out really soon, and may the Force be with you.